Earth Media says, how does logistics and supply chain apply to tech sales? I'll answer that question, right? So logistics and supply chain apply to tech sales just like any other industry apply to tech sales. If you are in the logistics and supply chain space, there's companies that sell that industry software, right? You can be part of the company selling that industry software. I work for a company that sells logistics and supply chain software. I've done that for 18 years. So we sell companies like Associated Wholesale Grocers, Food Lion, Publix, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, HP, any of these companies that have a need for warehouse management systems, transportation management systems, workforce management systems, manufacturing planning, restricted party stream. We do it all. So as far as logistics and supply chain, any company that sells into that industry, you have an opportunity to work for them in the tech sales space. You would just be the seller in the B2B space. That's the world that I live in, and that's the world that I've been in over the last 18 years, sir. That's also, Damon Weaver said, this is what I need to seal. I just purchased Course Careers. I am a pharmacy technician. Do most of these companies focus on your previous experience and try to find something similar in the tech sales? I would say this, you have to figure out the company that you want to work for, right? You look at your previous experience, but be able to tell a story of how your previous experience can relate to the new world that you're going to be in. You have to be able to tell that story. And that's what Akira was able to do. He was able to learn the language of B2B sales by working with me and going to Course Careers and learning the language. But now he also, after learning the language, he was able to communicate how the work that he did as a car salesman and a car sales manager is the same work that he's doing in the tech sales space, but just in a completely different industry. And versus it being B2C, it's B2B now. So it's business to business. Okay. So you can make the transition, Damian Weaver. Do companies look at it, at your previous experience? Yeah, they do. Right. But you should determine, the companies that you want to work for. So if you are in, the pharmacy as a pharmacy technician, you probably know a little bit more about pharmacy software. Well, maybe look at companies that sell software to pharmacies. Maybe look at companies that sell healthcare software so that you have a better chance of getting into that industry if that's where you want to go. You can go any, tech sales space if you want to, as long as you demonstrate the ability to learn. But if you want to increase your chances, go in the industry that you already have knowledge, if that's, what you have an interest in. Okay? Like Akira said, like the software, like what you're doing, right? Like what you're doing. Brother River Allen is in the house. River just got a new role himself as a IT technician himself. What's up, Brother River Allen? I appreciate you for coming in and also updating us on your journey as well, too, sir. I appreciate that, man. And congratulations on your wins as well, too, Mr. River. Let's do this. So Mia Farmer, Damon Weaver, Troy with Course Careers breaks down the companies look for very well in the module that prepares you for interviewing. Absolutely. Course Careers does do that. Back again, Mr. Wade, I'm in the medical field and thinking of going into sales as a sales engineer or maybe a different role in tech. I have my front end web dev and Python certs, thinking of booking a call. Absolutely. Don't think about it. Just book it. There you go. And then, that's going to be something that you accomplish in your Q4. That's going to help you for Q1. The UK's investor says most warehouses use supply chain software. Absolutely. Absolutely. They don't use spreadsheets anymore. Work Your Land says, I have a career coach. It helped a lot. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Tomorrow as well says, I took Coursera course from University of Maryland for fundamentals of tech sales a few days ago. Received a certification. I'm looking to get into tech sales now. Absolutely. Absolutely. You should apply. That should be your next position. You should apply. Juan Nightstand says, how does tech sales translate to the airline industry? That is a very good question. I'm assuming airlines, these companies have software that they use. Delta, if you think about it, they have software that they help people to check in, right? They have software that prints tickets. They have software that, manages the manifest of how many people are on a plane. They're not building it themselves.
They also have an app that the consumer as well.
You're absolutely right. They have a software app. You're absolutely right. Kire, you're absolutely right. So That's another way as well, right? So you work for the companies that sell into Delta, United Airlines, and so forth, right? American, all these companies, they sell airline software. That's how tech sales translates to the airline industry. Mia Farmer says men are included, men of color, when you're speaking gaps, seeing and leaving. With what I live in the tech space, the gap between women of color and men of color being hired is greater. Focusing on closing all gaps in the goal of corporate America. I cannot speak to other countries across disabilities, race, gender gaps need to be filled. Absolutely. And I say this, right? Akira and I was talking about this. Before Akira took the jump into tech sales, and I even talked about him making the jump now, right? There's so many people that are on the sidelines, right? We got our brother, Mr. Precise, that's in here. He says it's a Mexican American, and the lack of diversity that, he sees as a Mexican, or, you may be somebody from India or China and so forth, and the lack of diversity you may see. A lot of that is because a lot of people are on a sideline, right? Yeah. They don't know what they don't know. Akira figured out his father is in IT, that IT is a space for him. His father talked to him about tech sales, that you don't need to be a technical person to be in tech, right? You can be a project manager, a salesman. You can be some sort of an analyst. You can be a consultant. You can be a manager, whatever it is. You don't necessarily need to be, technical and have certifications in order for you to have success in tech. So Akira went that direction, and it ultimately ended up in tech sales. One of the fastest growing, but also one of the most lucrative careers that you can be in. And it's a lot of money, right? So at the end of the day, the goal should be for more people to figure out and learn that there's a space for them. And right now, there are too many people sitting on the sideline doing stuff that they don't like. And they're just thinking that tech isn't for them. Well, tech is for you. Even Akira even mentioned that, his father had the certification. He's like, nah, I'm not going to go down do the certification route, right? Yeah. But there's a space for everyone in tech. That's the future, right? You just have to figure out where that space is for you. And you can make the transition by working with a coach, right? Learning the skills, right? And putting in the work. You'll get it done. Scorpio Richard says, sorry, let me reframe that, sir. I will book a call. I'm waiting on my new webcam to come in for the Zoom call. And I don't need to see you on the Zoom call either. Scorpio, just book the call. There we go. Guys, that was the show that I have for you guys today. I want to thank Brother Akira again for coming onto the show and sharing his success story. I love to have shows like this where we are able to showcase the talented ladder climbers, but also talented individuals who have been able to make the transition into tech. Because as I mentioned, tech has a space for every one of us. And right now, there are too many of us sitting on the sidelines, missing out on the money. Let's get to the money, guys. Let's get to the money. You already know where it's at. You already know where it's at. We talk about it all the time on this channel. We talk about this in the STEM fields, the engineering fields, the sales. We talk about it. You're missing out by sitting on the sidelines thinking that it's not for you. Book a coaching session. Read more. Look at people's YouTube channels. Talk to Akira. Talk to other members. Join people's Patreon. Figure it out. Do what's best for you today that's going to benefit you tomorrow. Take action, guys. Take action. And until next time, y'all. Peace.